Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. Hey friends, welcome back to The Good Soul You're Rooted. My name is Nellie and I want to thank you for joining me today. By the time this video goes live, we will already be in 2026. That's crazy to me. I don't know. It's just 2025 has gone by pretty quickly, and especially the end of the year always flies by so quickly at the end of the year. But I still wanted to post this video, although it's later than I intended. The tips are important. The discussion is very important. And I personally am just finishing up updating the links for my digital planner. I had to make a few changes to it and update some of the pages, update some of the links. So I am just finishing that. So I have not started planning for January 2026 yet. So I'm excited to do that. That's what we're going to be doing in today's video. This is part 2 in a 3-part series that will lead up to the launch of my Walking with God collection that will go live on January the 8th. So go to my website, the link will be in the description box below, and sign up for emails. You'll get updated not only on this collection, the release of this collection, but also on future collections, sales, promotions, faith talk. It's just a fun little newsletter that's sent out weekly that I think that you would enjoy. So go ahead and sign up for that. With that being said, let us jump straight into planning out January 2026, and let's talk about drawing closer to God and things to consider in our walk with God in 2026, friends. Okay, so this is my blank spread for the month of January. I am going to go ahead and decorate this while we're going over the tips and considerations for walking with God in 2026. I'm going to be using some digital stickers that I purchased from an Etsy shop last year, actually, but I really want to use those again this year. And I might add some things later on to kind of make it a little bit different. And hopefully in the future, I would love to be able to make my own digital stickers. And so that's a goal of mine. That's something that I'm going to be working on this year, and maybe in subsequent Plan With Me videos, we can see what that looks like. I'm going to go ahead and work on putting the dates in here and the appointments in here. And while I'm doing that, I'm not going to probably walk through every single thing that I'm doing. You guys can watch, and I'll put in a voiceover with the tip number 1. So tip number 1 is to power through with prayer. At the risk of being redundant, I do want to go ahead and compile about 3 of the tips from my previous video into this one tip, because they're very important. And just in case you don't catch that video, the importance of prayer, friends, I can't stress enough. If one of your goals this year really is to draw closer to God, to walk with God like Enoch, then something that we all need to be doing is remaining in constant communion with heaven. It's important to start our day with God in prayer and devotion, and to carry that spirit of prayer throughout the day. I like this excerpt from the devotion book called The Mount of Blessing that says, "The soul that turns to God for its help, its support, its power, by daily earnest prayer, will have noble aspirations, clear perceptions of truth and duty, lofty purposes of action, and a continual hungering and thirsting after righteousness." Okay, so January the 1st is on Thursday. So I don't know if you guys caught that. I am just realizing that. So let's go ahead and change that. But finishing off tip number 1, it's just really important in our walk with God to keep Him forefront in our hearts, to commit our plans and lives to Him, to keep that spirit of prayer daily in our lives. I'm realizing during editing how long these videos actually are, the clips. And so, of course, I'm going to speed things up. But yeah, that's just funny because I didn't realize how long this actually was. And the tips that I have were the considerations won't take as long as the clips that I have. So I'm going to have to definitely clean this up a little bit. But if you are still hanging out with me at this point in the video, leave me a comment and let me know, are you more of a digital planner or do you prefer paper? Years ago, my preference was definitely paper, but lately I have been loving the versatility of a digital planner. Maybe I'll make January a little more fun than I usually like to keep things kind of simple, but I think I'm gonna try, let's see, those mountains. House maybe. So let's see. That. Okay, so as I am about to start writing here, I just want to warn you that my handwriting is not aesthetically pleasing. In fact, it might be pretty difficult to read, but I enjoy using my regular handwriting in my digital planners because it kind of makes me feel like I'm still writing in a physical planner and I can understand my own handwriting. So I just go ahead and do it this way. Okay, so that's just a basic kind of initial design for the month of January. I only added, a few things. Well, it's more than I usually add, so it's probably a lot of things. But I'm about to go in and put just a couple of appointments. Now, I don't think I have very many appointments this month at all, actually, so far. But just other things that I want to add, like business tasks and things that I want to add to the monthly calendar. I'm going to go ahead and do that really quick. And it's not going to be long because I don't have much going on. And as the month progresses, by the week you just kind of add what new has come up and things like that. So let me go ahead and add just a couple of appointments that I have going on and we'll keep it moving. Actually, while we're here, I think it's a good time to share tip number 2 or consideration number 2, which is to carry your cross. Luke 9:23 says, "If any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, but whosoever will lose his life for my sake, the same shall save it." 25 says, "For what is a man advantaged if he gain the whole world and lose himself or be cast away?" Friends, we have to surrender fully to God, die to ourselves daily. There's a devotion book called Steps to Christ that says, "The warfare against self is the greatest battle ever fought. The yielding of self, surrendering all to the will of God, requires a struggle, but the soul must submit to God before it can be renewed in holiness." And I absolutely have to share this other excerpt, friends, because it really touches my heart every single time that I read it. And I pray that someone hears this who really needs to hear it. It's an excerpt from the same book, Steps to Christ, same chapter, that says, "Many are inquiring, How am I to make the surrender of myself to God? You desire to give yourself to Him, but you are weak in moral power, in slavery to doubt, and controlled by the habits of your life of sin. Your promises and resolutions are like ropes of sand. You cannot control your thoughts, your impulses, your affections. The knowledge of your broken promises and forfeited pledges weakens your confidence in your own sincerity and causes you to feel like God can't accept you. But you need not despair. What you need to understand is the true force of the will. This is the governing power and the nature of man, the power of decision or of choice. Everything depends on the right action of the will. The power of choice God has given to men. It is theirs to exercise. You cannot change your heart. You cannot of yourself give to God its affections, but you can choose to serve Him. You can give Him your will. He will then work in you to will and to do according to His good pleasure. Thus, your whole nature will be brought under the control of the Spirit of Christ. Your affections will be centered upon Him. Your thoughts will be in harmony with Him. That's so encouraging, friends. Going forward, let us fully surrender ourselves to Christ. He's given us the freedom of choice. Let us choose to serve Him. Let us choose life. And He'll take care of the rest, friends. He'll guide us. I'll fill in the dates as I get them. This took a lot longer than I thought it would. I'm actually going to have to speed this up in editing, honestly. But one last thing that I like to do in my planners is I like to highlight the week that we're currently on. I feel like I've been using a lot of blue, but I still want to use it. Let me see how this looks. Yeah, that's fine. Oops. So what I mean is just like, I'll just, whatever is the current week, which this is going to kind of mess up my thing there, but that's okay. We're in the first week of January. Okay, yeah. So I like to just highlight the week that we're currently in, and then as the week progresses, or when we go to a new week, what I usually do is lasso that highlight and just drag it down to the next week, and then just drag it down and so forth, just so you have the weekend view. So, but let me put that back. We are in the first week of January. I forgot to put like the New Year thing for the first. Okay, so that's kind of the basic outline, or like the shell of January. Again, I'll add in more things as they come. But we are finished with the dashboard, or the main calendar actually for now, and we are going to move into the dashboard. Okay, so on this page, the monthly dash, we have the top 3 goals for the month: a spiritual goal, a personal goal, a business goal. We've got like the main focus, this month's intention, things to improve, probable expenses for the month, and so on. We've got an area for the reads for this month, whatever the current project I'm working on, and things that I really want to accomplish this month. Oh, and that's why I didn't put it on the main, because when I was doing the main page, I added this list here, but I forgot that I do have that on the dashboard right here. So I'll keep it there, but that's what this is for. And this just leads to a book review page for whatever books I'm going to plan on reading for the month of January. And I have that for each month. So top 3 goals. My top spiritual goal, guys, and it's just heavy on my heart. I want to have an unshakable, unbreakable faith. Without faith, it is impossible to please God. So my goal is just to be strong in faith, be courageous and bold in my faith. Faith. Walk with God. My top spiritual goal is to have unshakable, unbreakable faith. My top personal goal is to walk with God in all things. I want all of my personal goals and dreams and aspirations to align with what God has for me. And in order for that to happen, I need to be walking with God in all things. Consistency Okay, so my top business goal is consistency to his glory. And so I just want to make sure that I am doing all things to the glory of God and being consistent in sharing the gospel and doing, you know, in social media, being consistent in launches and being consistent in collections. Focus more on growth and building community. And I'm actually going to pop in with tip number 3 right here, or consideration number 3, which is to be wise as a serpent. And really, this definitely ties into the previous tip of dying to self and carrying your cross. As we consider the things we want to do, the places we want to go, it's just really important that we be wise as a serpent. I want to start this tip off with a quote from the reference book Mind, Character, and Personality that says, "The promises of God are not for us to claim rashly, to protect us while we rush on recklessly into danger, violating the laws of nature or disregarding providence and the judgment God has given to us to use." As Christians, consider the things you fill your day with, the things you watch, the things you listen to, the places you go. If you know that as a Christian, you shouldn't listen to something and you do it anyway, or you shouldn't watch something and you do it anyway, you're opening a channel for the enemy to have access to. If you're going places and doing things that are not safe, that's not someplace you should go. And then you say, "Oh, God will protect me." Friends, yes, God loves us. He protects us. His love and mercy are boundless. But let's look at 1 Peter 5:8. It says, "Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour." And Matthew 10:16 says, "Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves." Let's go back to the dashboard or the main calendar page. Actually, while I'm here, let me walk you through a few of the links. These two here are my YouTube planning pages. Realistically, I want to post at least one long form video a week, but a high reaching goal is I'm aiming for 2. That's why I have 2 here. So that leads to this page where I can plan out my YouTube videos a little bit more fully. I have a spot where I can put like my thumbnail idea here, some talking points here, what I want to definitely make sure to mention in the description box. It might take a while before I get any sponsors, but I had that there because when it does happen, it's there. Tags that I might want to put in the video, any calls to action that I want to put in the video. Usually I like to ask you guys to comment because it does help. And again, since I'm a new channel, a new small business started from zero, it really does help when you guys like and comment and share, that kind of a thing. So I always try and think of something that I can tell you guys to put in the comments section. So that's what that's for. Here, I want to make sure that if I have any links pertaining to that video, here I have a section where I can put the things that I need to get done for the video, random notes section. And here's where I put like more details about the talking points on this side. So yeah, that's that. Back to the January main page. These two are social media planning pages. This one is for like short form social media, and this one is for like my blog. And of course, we've got the daily page. So when you click on that, that'll take you to the daily page. I have to customize my own planners because there's just a flow that I like to have when I'm planning. And it's very difficult to find planners that really meet your needs sometimes. So that's why I designed this. I really love this daily page. I love this daily page. I do. So I just put, what the day is. This takes you back to the monthly dashboard. I have my gratitude list up here, my top 3 goals for the day. I have my task list for the day. I have my hourly layout. This section here is my ministry / small business kind of section. I like to put what my current project is. I typically, because it tends to be the same thing for like weeks, usually I'll copy and paste it up until it changes. So current project right now would be like the Walking with God collection. I have this on the daily page because it's something that I want to look at every single day. I want to make sure that I'm posting to social media and replying to comments, that I'm checking my emails every day, engaging with potential customers. monitoring brand mentions, that probably won't happen for a bit because I'm still a brand new small business starting from scratch. So, but it's still there for when it does happen. And then leave meaningful comments on others' pages. You know, I would like to build a community and to just have exposure so people can come to my channel or come to my pages and kind of see what it's about and join the community. So taking care of my temple, I have my hydration station here. So I'm just gonna put here, you know, how many cups of water I drink a day, the menu that leads to my weekly menu. I need to plan this out. So that's that. And yeah, this leads to my weekly spread. So here on the weekly page, I can access my daily pages from here as well. And I can access my menu for the week, social media for that week, blog posts and YouTube videos for that particular week. We're gonna park right here since we're here anyway for a quick couple of minutes while we talk about tip number 3. I'm gonna just fill this in. Just a few of this week's tasks while we talk because I don't have very many tasks this week anyway. It's Tuesday already, so I won't even have to go. I'm not going to go back to those days. I'm just going to plan forward, I guess. So we're going to park right here anyway, though, and I'm going to go ahead and put some things in here. Okay, the last thing I want to touch on for us to consider in this new year is that we be true representatives of Christ. 1 Peter 2:9 says, "Ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should shew forth the praises of him who hath called you out of the darkness into his marvelous light." And this really ties in a bow the previous tips. We are called to love God, not the world, to follow Christ, not the crowd. And sometimes, you know, turning down that invite to that party, turning off that song, turning the channel on that TV show are really helping us to turn our eyes upon Jesus. Okay, so today I'm just focusing on filming this video. I'm going to start the editing process tonight. Wednesday, I need to finish editing this video because it takes me I can't do it all in one evening usually. And then schedule this video to go live on Thursday. And actually, I want to add something else to that last tip that we were just discussing. A lot of times, there will be people who don't understand or who talk negatively or even avoid you because you're turning your eyes from the world and turning your eyes toward Jesus. That's all a part of carrying your cross, friends. But also think of this. Think about that one person that the Lord could use you in order to reach. So just remember, keep in mind, you are a walking witness for the Lord. You are to be set apart. This is it for the weekly layout for right now. I'm not going to do this section here. This actually links to my website. So we've got some updates to put in here because I really want to emphasize the Walking with God collection, and that's going to be on the main page. But yes, we are done with the month of January for now. I'm going to be adding more things, and it's kind of easier sometimes to go by the week because just things tend to come up, obviously, you know, after you've already kind of did your initial layout. One thing I like to do on this page as well is to add when I want to film and what I want to film and when I want to edit. Like I usually use this for the whole process, but this video is already really long, and so I'm not going to add that right now. I'll do it later. Okay, friends, so that's kind of the initial planning that I wanted to get done for the month of January. Again, this is part 2 in a 3-part series, the Walking with God series, and it's going to lead up to the launch of my Walking with God collection, which will be January the 8th. I'm super excited about that one. My first collection for the Good Soul You're Rooted, very small collection, but very near and dear to my heart because I just put so much love and so much time into and just thought into what I wanted to do for this collection, like the things that I wanted to include. It's small because I did start later than I wanted to start on it, and so I didn't do some of the items that I wanted to, like I wanted to do cups or mugs, and I was not able to do that. which I'm pretty disappointed about, but I do really like the things that I did. My favorite are the notepads. If anyone loves notepads, I do have a few notepads in this collection that I just really enjoyed making. So I hope you guys will enjoy them as well. Part 3 in the Walking with God series will go live next Thursday on January the 8th, the same day that the collection goes live. So we're going to have fun in that video. We're going to be actually making some of the products for the collection. I'll show you how I make the notepads and maybe bookmarks. I'm not sure if I'm going to make those in that video, but it's going to be fun. We're going to be designing some of the things for that collection, and I'll show you a few of the products for the collection. I'm super excited about it, guys. So I will see you then. I'll see you next week. I'll catch you in that video. Please like this video, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, comment below and let me know what tip or what part of this discussion that you found the most valuable. I really like to hear you guys' feedback. And I look forward to reading your comments. So go ahead and leave me a comment and let me know which part of this video that you found the most valuable. And yeah, subscribe and come and join me for the next video.